Have you ever seen a child who just seems intense? They have these huge reactions, big, overwhelming emotions, and they really struggle to calm down. Everyone around them, maybe even you, thought what they needed was just firmer discipline. But what if I told you that wasn't what was missing at all? What if what that child truly needed was safety? This is a story I see play out all the time, both as a parent and in my work. It's about a child whose behavior often looked like defiance on the surface. From the outside, it just seemed like they lacked boundaries, like they were constantly testing the limits. So naturally, the response from the adults around them was to focus on control. The rules were made crystal clear. Expectations were explained over and over again. Consequences were set. But the behavior didn't change. The child stayed reactive, easily overwhelmed, and quick to escalate into a tantrum or a meltdown. It felt like a constant battle, a power struggle that was exhausting for everyone involved. But here's the thing, it wasn't really defiance, it was disrespect. Their little nervous system was completely overwhelmed and stuck in a state of fight or flight. The real breakthrough, the turning point, came when one person, one caregiver, decided to ask a completely different question. Instead of asking, "How do we stop this behavior?" they started asking, "What does this child need to feel safe right now?" That simple shift in perspective changed everything. The entire response from the adults began to transform. Now, it's really important to understand that creating safety isn't about throwing away all the rules and boundaries. It's not about letting a child do whatever they want. It's about building emotional security. It's about that child feeling seen, truly seen for the struggle they're experiencing, not just the behavior they're showing. It's about them feeling supported, knowing that there's a calm, steady adult right there with them, a rock in their emotional storm, especially when things feel incredibly hard and chaotic inside their own body. When children feel this deep sense of safety, their nervous systems can finally begin to rest. They can move out of that constant state of high alert. Imagine a computer with way too many tabs open. It's slow, it crashes, it can't function properly. When a child feels safe, it's like closing all those extra tabs. Their brain can start to function better, they can think more clearly, and they can access the parts of their brain responsible for learning and regulation. So, what happened with this child? The behavior started to soften. It wasn't an overnight miracle. It wasn't perfect. There were still tough days. But gradually, step by step, things started to change. Why? Because the child wasn't in a constant fight for survival anymore. They weren't fighting the rules or the adults. They were finally settling into a state of security. Their energy could go towards growing and learning instead of just surviving. This story really highlights a fundamental truth that we often miss in our modern world. Not every child who struggles with behavior needs more discipline, stricter rules, or more consequences. Some children, perhaps many children, just need to feel safe first. Safety is the foundation upon which everything else is built: self-regulation, learning, connection, and cooperation. When we can provide that unwavering sense of safety, we give them the greatest gift of all, the space to become their best selves. We move from being their enforcer to being their anchor, and that changes everything. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content on gentle and effective parenting. We'll see you in the next one.